Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. If you haven't done so already, guys, hit this sub button and drop a like on this video as well. I think this is going to be a pretty good one, guys. So in today's video, we will be looking at the evolution of Phil Heath. Not over his entire career, but we will be looking at him from 2005 to 2011. So the 2005 version was actually when Phil was still competing as a junior. This is the earliest competition I could find of him. So Phil wasn't even a pro yet, guys, and the physique he had was incredible. And of course on the right is the 2011 Mr. Olympia winning version of Phil Heath, which is arguably his best version. So of course, guys, we aren't going to actually look at this as a comparison because of course 2011 is just going to dominate this version, but this is just mostly going to be for fun. And this is incredible, guys. Even before Phil turned pro, this is an incredible physique. I mean, we do have guys like Carlos Thomas Jr. and Justin Shire, who also had very incredible physiques turning pro. But the genetics that Phil had was amazing. But I don't think anyone would have thought that Phil Heath could have looked like this, guys. Incredible everywhere, especially the arms. Look at how much the biceps improved. His arms were big here, but he didn't just have the freak factor to the arms that he has now. And I don't think a lot of people talk about how good Phil's quads are. Incredible, guys. And of course he improved his posing a lot. Now some of these shots will be a little off because at this 2005 show, the shots were taken like from the judges table at like a downward angle, so they are kind of weird. Taking a look at the front lat spread, guys, look at the difference in the quads. Phil Heath has those incredible quads, but I think guys that are a little more bubbly like Flex Wheeler and maybe Keon Pearson, they don't have that dry look like a Nick Walker or maybe a Dorian Yates have. So I think a lot of people think their legs aren't as conditioned, but it's just a different type of condition. I'm pretty sure my bodybuilding nerds know exactly what I mean by that. But in 2005, it looks like Phil definitely could improve on his quads a lot. But other than that, everything else is still pretty on track, guys. Now taking a look at the side chest pose, this is the best side chest I could find of him, even though his eyes are closed and it isn't a full picture. But this is a great comparison, guys. Look at the thickness. Look at the delts. Look at the arms. Who would have thought, guys? Who would have thought? So starting off, I mean, he did have great genetics here. He didn't start off as bad as a guy like Nick Walker would, but you don't really know if you have good genetics until you actually put in some time, some training, some years of training and eating consistently, guys, because a lot of these guys before they turn pro, you would have never thought that they would look the way that they look now. But now Phil is a special exception because he is the gift. But I think we all can agree, seeing Phil here in 2005, I don't think we would have thought that he would have improved this much by 2011. Now taking a look at this back double bicep, guys, incredible. If you guys look in 2005, you can't even really see his lower lat insertions. I guess you kind of see some wrinkles around where his lower lat insertion should start. But looking at this, you wouldn't think that Phil would have got the back that he ended up growing over the next 6 years. And this is arguably the best back of all time in bodybuilding. I believe it would probably be between Phil, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, and Samir Banu. You kind of have to just take your pick off of preference. Then taking a look at the lower half, guys, even in 2005, Phil was crazy condition, man, crazy condition. And his arms do look pretty freaky here, guys, even from behind, especially the delts. Delts pretty good too. But Phil also ended up mastering the mandatories, and that's something that all of the greats do. Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Phil Heath, they're all like masters of the mandatory poses. None of them really too much of artistic poses, but they definitely can hit the mandatories. And taking a look at the rear lat spread, guys, it's like Phil just completely ate himself, man. Incredible. But you can see through the traps in the mid back, he had all that then. He just didn't have enough density. Pretty much the foundation is there for everything, guys, but I just think the amount of mass that Phil was able to put on and the way that it looks, the way that it's put together, for me personally, this 2011 Phil is probably the most pleasing to the eye physique of all time. A lot of people will probably argue the 1993 version of Flex Wheeler, but I think Phil is a little bigger with pretty much the same freak factor. So we're going to take a look at this side tricep, and this actually isn't from the 2011 Mr. Olympia. This is from the 2014. I couldn't find one from the 2011, but I did want to make this a full comparison just to show you guys. angles are a little bit off, guys, but you can see here, even in 2005, look at the arm, guys, incredible. Looks like Phil may have a little bit of gyno there. It's something a lot of bodybuilders deal with. Is usually pretty typical in the sport. But in 2014, Phil actually isn't executing this to the best of his ability. Phil Heath probably has one of the best side triceps of all time as well, guys. But of course, just something to look at, something to talk about. Still very interesting to see the transformation in his pose. And also on the ab and thigh, I couldn't find one from 2011, but just to make the comparison, I took one from 2014. Look at the quads, guys. Look at the quads. I never hear anyone talking about how good Phil's quads are. And I'm pretty sure if you guys can realize through this comparison, Phil Heath is probably the most complete bodybuilder of all time. I mean, looking at Phil Heath in the 2011 and 2014 versions, what can you say, honestly? The only thing Phil has been knocked for throughout his career is being a little more narrow, which is just genetic. So in 2005 version, Phil doesn't have much of a V-taper, but granted, he isn't really executing this to the best of his ability. He's pretty much standing straight up, but look at the biceps, guys. Incredible in the ab and thigh shot. And finishing up here with the most muscular shot. Crazy, guys, crazy. Having this physique as a junior, not even as a pro yet, guys. I wonder what's Phil Heath natural here. I'm not sure. Someone let me know in the comment section. I'm pretty sure someone knows, but probably the most genetically gifted athlete our sport has ever seen next to Flex Wheeler, man. Incredible. And in 2011, he just maintained the same shape and just put on more size, which is why this is so incredible. So by this point, Phil's midsection was pretty much still in check, but Phil did have a hernia, guys. Ended up having to have a hernia surgery, so I think that really affected his bubble gut. I don't really think it was from him overeating or GH gut or whatever. Phil had a hernia. I know Phil had to get a surgery for the hernia, and then the hernia broke, and he also had to get it repaired once again. So not making excuses for Phil, guys, just letting you guys know if you don't know what was going on with Phil Heath. But as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. This was just something interesting to look at. Do you guys think 2011 Phil Heath is the greatest bodybuilder of all time? I mean, I know a lot of people are probably going to go with 98, 99 Ronnie Coleman, but I like 2011 Phil Heath, you know. I mean, Ronnie got a little bit too freaky at times. Phil Heath is just like the perfect balance of everything to me. But I hope I don't get too many dislikes for that. I'm out.